At this point, marry her already. Conceited? Why would you say that about yourself? Hello, welcome back to Benny's Take. I'm your girl Benny, and today I'm so excited to be doing part 3 of I'm so excited to be sharing with you part 3 of my review of Love on Stage. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and also subscribe to the Kev on Stage Studio streaming service. I will link all the information in my description box for you to check it out. It's a Black-owned streaming service. Great content. Be sure to check them out for this review to be making any type of sense. Okay, before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button if you're excited, and let's go ahead and do this. All right, so before I even give you my opinion on the first date, I first have to explain to you the premise of the date as it was. So Melissa had them do like a show and tell, so you had to bring like 5 items that describe you. One of them had to be from your childhood, one of them had to be the last gift you received, the other one was something from your last travel, the other one was something that represents your dream, and I'm forgetting the last one, but anyways, they had to bring 5 items, and the whole point was for them to talk about those 5 items as a way for the other person to get to know them. Now, it wasn't just like just talk about the 5 items and keep it pushing. Those 5 items and that whole exercise was used as a starting point, like starts there, and let's just see like how the conversation flows naturally. Maybe you will say something that sparks an interest, like, oh, maybe I like this too, and then the conversation carries on. So that was basically the idea, and I really love that idea. All right, first couple, we're gonna be starting with Bria and Robert, and when I tell you, at this point, I literally would not be surprised if by the next date the two of them are married. Like, he was so giddy, he was so excited, he was happy to be there. Bria was excited as well. They were just like giggling, like she already has like one of those laughs, like after everything she like laughs like and with him it was even more pronounced. Like, she was so excited, he was excited as well. They both looked so gorgeous. Her makeup was on fleek, all of the things. She was giving skin, she was giving moisture, she was giving literally face beat. Okay, she looked amazing, and he was, he looked, I liked his shirt, he looked really nice. He, like I said, he was so giddy. He kept like spinning, on the chair, just like doing just weird stuff, like, remember when we were younger, and you, not even younger, like even now when you're talking to your crush or something, just like making weird like positions, like putting your arm, your leg all over the place. Literally, that was Rob. He was so excited, he could not stay still. He was just like low-key agitated, but in a good way, and I'm really here for him. I'm always here to see like a Black man be so just like enamored, to be just so like in love, to be so expressive of like his attraction towards another Black woman. We're here for all the Black love, and I was really excited. They did have a good date, and she had said towards the end that they do have a lot of similarities, and she was wondering if that would be a good thing, or would that cause like maybe somewhat of a clash, because they're so similar with their interests. Photography, they both like have cameras and all of the things. They seem to really have a lot of similarities. I didn't think that was going to be a problem, only because this is only the first date, right? As they get to know each other more, as they get to talk to each other a little bit more, they will find out a lot more of their differences. And for what it's worth, like, these are just similarities in interests. We not even started talking about character, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do each of them react when there's conflict? How do they communicate? How are they as people, as far as forgiveness goes? Like, all of those components that make a great relationship, we're yet to see that, because it's just the first date, and they haven't actually become official or anything like that. So I'm sure they will find differences. I'm sure that those differences will challenge them. I'm sure those differences will help them become better people. I did like that they have a lot of similarities as far as like interest, because at the very least, you want to be able to know that you can have fun, that you can enjoy, what the other person in the relationship enjoys to do. You don't want to be such, polar opposites that, they're doing one thing in West Bamba Hell and you're over here like, what is going on? Like, you don't want to be, so different, you know. So they have enough similarities to get them started, and like I said, I am sure they will find differences. But yeah, at this point, I'm ready for their wedding. If you want a flower girl, if any of you are watching and you're looking for a flower girl, I am ready, okay? I'm gonna be here like, you know, dropping the flowers. I am ready for Bria and Rob. They look so good together, and it was virtually like imagine them actually in person. And I do hope they continue with that spark, and I do hope they continue to just like, you know, have that interaction. So that was my thoughts on Bria and Robert. So the second couple actually surprised me. It was none other than Sherelle and Walter. First and foremost, they looked amazing. Walter had on like this white shirt. His beard was combed. He looked really dapper, very well put together. I really loved how, you know, he came out, like he came on like, I'm gonna show you what I'm about. Like he came through. And then Sherelle, she had lipstick, you know, sitting on point, eyebrows on fleeks. Literally, she understood the assignment. She gave everything she was supposed to give for this date. It was so beautiful. She looked amazing, and just, you know, her sweet personality could really shine, the way she smiles. So both of them really looked amazing. Now, the reason why it surprised me is because if you don't remember, in the past I had said, like, you know, he obviously, Walter meaning, he had mentioned how like he's a clown, he's gonna hide your shoe, all of those things. And to me, it felt very juvenile. Are you somebody that's going to be serious, somebody that's going to have a little bit more focus to you, or are you going to come out here acting, you know, juvenile and asking like, you know, ridiculous questions? He was not that at all, and I am glad we got to see these other sides to him. He was very, you know, sweet. He was very kind. Like he made her very comfortable, and some of the things he was sharing about his life, you could tell that this is somebody that has lived. He has experience. He has opinions that are rooted in actual, like, oh, I've lived my life, and it's not just very juvenile from what we saw with his last comment from, like, you know, his interview. And she, on the other hand, was also very open, and I thought they really had a good time together. They had a great time. I don't know if they're gonna go out here, you know, and fall in love and do all of the things, but I thought they had a really good time. A turning point for them was that he can read Hebrew, like the actual, you know, language where the Bible was written. When I tell you that literally did something for her, you could see her mood. Like, not that her mood was bad to begin with, but you can see her face light up, and she was like, oh my gosh, like you can read Hebrew. And you know, that was meaningful to her because she's somebody that loves to study the word. She loves, you know, understanding the context of things and whatever have you. So for him to be reading Hebrews, I felt like Sherelle was like, I'm ready for this. Me, I'm ready. Just ask me to marry you already. I'm ready. I felt like that was like, you know, her reaction, how like, you know, her body, you know, demeanor just kind of like, you know, changed and shifted. So I was really glad to see that. And they were asking each other questions. It was nice. At one point he had complimented her like, oh, you look like a Barbie, because she had said she loves Barbies. That was so sweet. You could tell like that made her feel very good about herself. It made her feel very pretty, and you know, all of those things. So I was really happy to see that. So the two of them, I am hopeful. I'm hopeful, and I'm hoping that, you know, they continue on such a high. And Melissa had mentioned that the first dates that we watched, that was edited. So we're gonna see the unedited versions of the dates to give us a much better, like a fuller picture of what exactly happened during the dates. So I'm excited to see that. I hope, you know, my opinion still stays the same. But from what I've seen so far, like Walter really came out, he showed out, and I'm really rooting for them, y'all. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for Sherelle to fall in love with him. I'm rooting for him to fall in love with her, and I'm rooting for them to have babies, all of the things. Me, I'm ready. Alright, y'all, so the last date that I want to talk about was between Jesus and Aries. This one was a little bit of a doozy. This one I'm not really sure how I feel about even till now. It's been 2 days since the last time I watched it. I'm still not sure what happened exactly. It just felt a little weird, their energy. One of the panelists was actually saying like, literally we're going to be watching two attractive people tolerate each other. And I hate to say that she's right. It felt like that at times. It really did. It felt like, you know, I don't want to say they were not open. They were very open. You can kind of tell like their strong personalities were at the forefront of like the conversation. At one time, I don't know what exactly they were talking about, but he ended up saying like, people don't like this word, but I like to consider myself like, conceited. And I'm like, usually conceited is not associated with the best connotations. Like, nobody wants to be around somebody that's conceited. Confident, yes, for sure, but conceited, I'm not sure what exactly he was going with that. And I felt like around that he kind of lost her. He kind of just like, she seems to have been open. At first she was asking the questions and all of those things, but after that it felt like one of those things where like, let me just see how this goes. At least that's how I read it, but I could possibly be wrong. Towards the end of the date, Melissa had asked both of them how they felt about the dates. She had responded that I learned a lot. So now, you learned a lot good things about him, or you learned a lot of like, okay, you were like, I don't know what I learned a lot meant for her. So we will see as we see the other unedited versions of the dates. We will see exactly what she meant by what she learned a lot. I felt as though there were moments where he was definitely being vulnerable. There was a part where he had said where I'm not proud to say like I don't want somebody. I do want somebody. I do want to grow old with somebody. I don't want to just like sit over here, look at all my financial success, or like some of the clothes that I can wear or whatever that I've done. I want to be able to share all of this with somebody. So that was definitely a vulnerable moment for him, and I could see that that did something for her, that it showed to her that he is more than just like this Jesus attractive, muscular Hollywood barber of a person, because that's his profession. Like, it made it seem as though like he had more depth to him. Yeah, I think he lost her again when he showed his business card. It was like this metal, expensive, like extravagant card. Like, normally people don't really spend that much money on like their business cards, but he was like this represents me, like I'm like an extravagant guy, I'm like all of these things, which was just kind of like, okay, I don't know that that did anything to really show Aries that Jesus is somebody that has like a stronger character, that's not just somebody that's like focused on money and all of those things. So he is very just like odd. I'm not sure exactly how to describe him, because he mentioned like he shops at a thrift store and he loves all of the things secondhand or whatever have you, and then he has like this card that probably costs a lot of money to make just one. So it's like, okay, where exactly do you fall? And people are not like one-dimensional. So I know there's a lot to him. I know there's a lot more that he can bring in. There's a lot more to him. There's a lot more depth to him that he can show, but I'm not sure he showed it on this first date. He felt very just like surface level. Like, I don't care about your business card, honestly. Like, I don't know that she cared either, but I don't think anybody watching was like, oh my gosh, look at your business card. Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Like, show a little bit more of your, I guess, I don't want to say your soft side, but show a little bit more vulnerability like he did with the whole, I want to have somebody and whatever have you. So that was really good. I commended him for that. But then I felt like, okay, I don't know where you were going with this. And he did admit that towards the end that, the dates may not have gone as well as he wanted it to go. And so we'll see from the unedited version of the dates how exactly it went, what exactly he said, and maybe there was more that we did not see that maybe led her to feeling the way that she she looked towards the end of the dates. Again, I could be wrong. These are just my opinions. I don't know these people from Adam. I don't know what's going through their minds. I've never done a dating show, so I'm just like talking here up and down. I don't know. These are just my opinions, so don't come and kill me, okay? Don't come and kill me. I'm just telling you from what I'm seeing, okay? But I do hope they find their ground. I do hope that they find some kind of commonality. I do hope that eventually they become more vulnerable with each other, so that they can each see who the other person truly is. All right, there you have it. That is my review. If you liked it, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and please go ahead and share it with a friend. I would love for all of us, to talk about this show. If you haven't already, again, please go ahead and check out the Kev on Stage studio streaming service. Really, really great content, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, Z's.